Yo, yo, yo. What is good people? These pods gonna be coming out fast. I'm doing pods. I feel like podding right now. This is gonna be a little bit on the political side. So let's get to it. This is your Don't Listen podcast. This is your boy TP. Yeah, let's talk about it. Kyrsten Sinema. Now, Kyrsten Sinema went on CNN and did an interview saying that she's leaving the Democratic Party. And I want y'all to watch this video because I think this is very telling who she is. And I'm going to give commentary while she's talking.
You're here to make a significant announcement.
I've registered as an Arizona independent. I know some people might be a little bit surprised by this, but actually I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, a growing number of Arizonans and people like me just don't feel like we fit neatly into one party's box or the other. And
you think she didn't feel that way because she ran as a populist and ran as somebody that leaned toward the left when she was running for Senate in Arizona. And now all of a sudden she changing. Now we can all have a change of mind. That's part of life. You might think one way before, just like I did when I was just on everything Democrat. But she's different. She came in there, did her little dip, voted down Build Back Better, which a lot of things in Build Back Better would have helped people. She the one that got it gutted, her and Joe Manchin. But let's finish watching what she's saying.
so, like many across the state and the nation, I've decided to leave that partisan process and really just focus on the work that I think matters to Arizona and to our country, which is solving problems and getting things done.
So your voting record is pretty capital D Democratic. I mean, your views are generally that of a moderate centrist Democrat. How does leaving the party change how you do your job?
Well, I don't think anything will change about how I do my job. Arizonans sent me to the United States Senate to be an independent voice for our state, and I'll continue doing that. What I think is important about this decision and this move is that I'll be able to show up to work every day as an independent and not be, stuck into one party's demands of following without thinking. And as we've seen in recent years, both parties have created this kind of requirement or a pull towards the edges that you just unthinkingly support all of one party's viewpoints.
Now that I agree with, because everything Democrats do ain't right and everything that Republicans do ain't right. But she says she just want to be an independent. But it seems like when certain issues come up in front of Congress and she has to weigh in on it, she always leans a certain way. You got to follow the money, people. If you follow the money, most of these politicians will tell you where they stand, where their votes stand, and it'll let you know. Like, it'll tell you. Like her, the reason why she had a lot of problems with some of Build Back Better is because health insurance companies kicked in some money to her campaign and said, hey, we need you to vote this way because we don't want these people to get this and we need you to do that. But she says she's an independent. She's an independent when it comes to getting money. And like I said before, anybody that excuse me, anybody that thought that she was just the problem. That's not what I'm saying. I know she was part of the problem, her and Joe Manchin. But if those two voted with it, they would have found somebody else to do what she did. That's what I'm saying.
It's made it difficult to find folks who are willing to work together and solve problems. Now, as you know, Jake, we've been able to do a lot of bipartisan work over the last couple of years, and I'm incredibly proud of that. And I think it's important for folks across my state and frankly across the country to say, yeah, there's someone that's kind of like me, doesn't fit neatly into one box or the other, but is standing up for their values, for what they believe in, and is doing.
That's a politician politicking, good people. And she's very good at that, talking out of both sides of her mouth. But I digress. Let's get back to the other video within the video. Kyrsten Sinema is a senator from Arizona. And right after the Dems get the majority, she comes out of nowhere with a fastball right down the middle. I didn't see nobody talking about this, so I thought I would. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Because I thought this was important news to bring to y'all. Okay. Kyrsten Sinema says she will leave the Democratic Party to become an independent. Now, normally I would not have a problem with this. And again, I have to make a disclaimer. This is not coming from me. Look at the pointer. This is from the New York Times, good people. So I'm not the one saying it, just the messenger. The story is by Carl House and Daniel Victor 1 hour ago. Washington, Senators Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona announced on Friday that she would leave the Democratic Party and become an independent, unsettling the party divides anew just days after Democrats secured an expanded majority in the Senate. There she go up there. Oh, I thought she was a Democrat. She's up there with 3 Republicans. Look at that. Oh, okay, look at that. But she's saying she gonna be an independent, good people. But you up there standing with Republicans, okay? So you see where her allegiance lie all along. She was a Republican playing a Democrat. At the end of the day, if you want my opinion on it, I think the two-party system is corrupt as it stands. But this right here lets you know that it's like operations going on. They say, hey, go run as a Democrat. But we know where your allegiances lie. And you can look at her voting record to know where her allegiances lie at. Her and Joe Manchin. Because she was one of the people that stopped President Biden's agenda when it came to Build Back Better. She didn't think you should have work leave. She didn't think you should have child care. She didn't think you should have a whole lot of different things. So if you go back and look at Build Back Better and what it was supposed to be, and look at all the concessions that the Democrats made in the bill just to get some of it passed. She was against it. Joe Manchin was against it, as far as a few other Democrats. Because see, what happens is if some vote for it, some vote against it, they'll find other people to fill that role that she played. And let's finish reading. I have joined the growing number of Arizonans who reject party politics by declaring my independence from the broken partisan system in Washington, she wrote in an op-ed published in the Arizona Republic. Ms. Sinema, who's already facing a likely Democratic re-election challenge in 2024 after angering her party by opposing key elements of its agenda, will need to maintain some ties with Democrats to keep her committee seats and other benefits, since they would still hold a majority without her. Okay, so I will say, if you're gonna play a game like that, if I was the Democrats, take all her seats, all the committees that she sit on, take it all away from her. Because she been opposing your agenda from the beginning. So why keep helping her stay relevant? Take her out the seats. She informed Senator Chuck Schumer, the New York Democrat and majority leader, of her plans on Thursday, according to a Senate Democratic aide who described the private conversation on the condition of anonymity, whatever. I can't say that word for some reason. The aide said that Ms. Sinema will keep her committee positions through Democrats, meaning the parties will still hold a one-seat edge of the panels next year, giving them new flexibility over the nominations and legislations. Now, why would anybody believe what she says? Why would anybody believe that? If you believe that Kyrsten Sinema is still going to help your agenda when she been a thorn in the side of Democrats, remember she did the little dip, you know what I mean? She did a little dip. Yeah, I oppose, right? So why don't Democrats grow a backbone and oppose her? Take her out of these committee seats since she want to be independent. There's nothing wrong with being an independent, but when you say you are with a party, and I'm not saying you're supposed to just blindly agree with everything the party does, because we all know what that happens. You find money for war, but you can't feed the poor, right? But when something that was supposed to be good for the people, and you vehemently opposed it, remember she did that shit, y'all? Then Democrats should have somebody waiting in lines to take her seat. Do I agree with Democrats all the time? No, I do not. Do I agree with Republicans all the time? I do not. I don't agree with neither one of the parties' agenda at this moment. And especially what they did to the rail workers. Listen to this, good people. The rail workers wanted 7 days paid sick leave. That's all they was asking for, I guess, but 7 days. And they were threatening a strike. So if you have a union, which they do, and Joe Biden and the Democrats claim to be pro-union, why didn't you let the union negotiate the terms of their contract? I would like to know this. Y'all had to step in, make these people go back to work for less than what they think they're worth. That's why they're in the union. That's why they pay dues for the union to fight for them. But the government steps in and takes away their right to negotiate with their employer. Now, we know it probably would have been hard times for the American people if the rail workers go on strike, right? Okay. Those people know what they need. Those people know what they need. That's why they got union representation, to tell these corporations what they need. And by the way, the rail industry made billions of dollars. So why is it so hard to give these people 7 days sick leave? Now, it's sick leave. It's not just, I don't want to go to work. It's sick. When you're sick, you stay home, get well, and still get paid for it. So it won't cause a hardship to your family by losing money for being something that you're not in control of, like being sick. And Congress passed it. Senate passed it. And that's both Democrats and Republicans. Because a lot of people keep spinning it like, oh, it's just the Democrats' fault that the rail workers got their, made the workers go back to work. Nah, the Republicans got a hand in it too. So don't be fooled by the people that just say it's the Democrats' fault. Republicans voted for it too. Let's make this is a bipartisan fucking of the workers. And one of the rail workers came out and said, we need a third party. Because the Democrats or the Republicans is not working in the interest of the people. Because anytime you take the power away from workers and give it to corporations, which they did, and made these people go back to work, you done took their power away. And they know that. That's why the government stepped in. Nah, we can't leave it to the unions to negotiate. Can't leave it to these workers to get 7 days sick leave, not just the stay home days. No, it's sick leave after the railroad industry made billions of dollars in profits and cut their workforce, which make these people work harder than they normally do. Oh my God. I say again, the hypocrisy of your democracy.
In progress.
Well, this is the part that people don't tell you. 8 Democrats and 129 Republicans voted against the legislation. Okay, 8 Democrats and 129 Republicans voted against the legislation. Okay, and with that being said, let's watch the video.
All right. Well, your next guest says there are a couple segments particularly vulnerable to a rail shutdown, especially if it lasts longer than a week. Let's bring in now Donald Broughton. He is managing director of Broughton Capital. Don, good to have you back on, although I wish it was under better circumstances. First off, Congress is in motion. It seems like a bipartisan thing. No political party should want to strike.
Look who he brings on to talk about a rail worker strike. A capitalist management somebody that runs funds, good people, somebody up there on Wall Street. That's where, if you follow the money, this will tell you why that strike was averted. It don't got nothing to do with them shutting down the economy. It don't got nothing to do with, excuse me, rail workers not getting their pay. Is these people will stop making money because the rail workers wanted their 7 days sick pay. These people was like, oh no, we can't have no disruption in the, in the economy, because then we're going to start losing money on the stock market. Follow the money, good people.
Are you handicapping the possibility of a strike here, Don?
Yeah, and I really don't believe good to be on with you, Brian. But yeah, I really don't believe there's going to be a strike. What's happening is simple. You played rugby for Virginia Tech, correct?
I did. Not well.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. But my boys at WashU and your boys at Virginia Tech were going out. That's basically, they're having a scrum. That's what's happening between the management teams here and the union leadership. That's what it's about. Doesn't mean that they're not going to still effectively complete the game and that things are going to happen. It's just that we're in that part of the process in which they're having a good old-fashioned scrum. But there's not going to be a strike. In essence, they've been given very, very great packages, and management and leadership of unions are.
Look at what these people are asking for. 4 rail workers demands 4 labor unions reject deal. Tentative agreement allocated 1 additional paid personal day. All right, you might have to take care of something. You work, bust your cakes all day for these companies, and you can't take a personal day. Demanding 56 hours of paid sick time off as prescribed currently to federal contractors. So all they want is what other people already have. Why can't they have it? But look at the people they bring on to talk about rail workers. They bring Wall Street on to talk about the rail workers. We're going to watch a little bit of this, and then we're going to get back to the video.
Basic.
And every time I say stuff like that, people say I'm crazy. But am I crazy when the writing's on the wall? And you wonder why people don't vote? You wonder why people don't believe in this system anymore? Where you can take the power away from the people in favor of corporations. We got to ask ourselves these questions, good people. These are questions that need to be answered by our politicians, like Kyrsten Sinema, like Joe Manchin, where over 70% of the people, Republicans and Democrats, believed in most of Build Back Better, and we still didn't get it. Do I agree with Joe Biden on a lot of things? Hell no. But I did like some of the proposals in Build Back Better. At the end of the day, people, if you can negotiate for your rights in a company and you're unionized, and the government could just step in and take your power away, regardless of the situation that it would have caused here at home. Right? Because Americans is going through hard times because of the policy of war. We already going through hard times. policy of wars costing billions of dollars that's going elsewhere and not here. But when you say stuff like that, you anti-government, or you anti-this, you anti-that. No, you're just making an observation with your own mind. Like, hey man, they got money to go over there to Ukraine and Israel and all these other different places. And the railroad workers can't get 7 days sick time. Look at the cost benefit. Look at it. People here can't get 7 days sick time. Let's just say the government decided to subsidize that part of the rail workers' plan. How much would that cost compared to how much money's going out? And the government shouldn't have to subsidize the railroad industry since they made billions of dollars in profits. That's just the question that I had. And let's see how the Democrats treat Kyrsten Sinema going forward. Because, you know, in these times, in these days and times, you know, with these partisan politics, like that's all it is now. You either red or you blue. That's it. And I think people need to understand it's not on that time anymore, any longer. Red or blue, Republican or Democrat, they both are screwing you. Keeping it 100. You know, it's ridiculous. Every time American citizens ask for something, they can't get it. And people abroad get more investment into them than the people here. At the end of the day, is it democracy if it ain't working for you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. That is the question. Because I know this video probably ain't gonna get seen by many. But what I do know is people are waking up, let alone they hear it from me or somewhere else. People are waking up. They seeing this screwdriver system, you know, it's not right. It's not right to take workers' rights away, all because y'all want to keep the country moving. Well, you keep the country moving by giving those workers what they need, what they ask for, what they bargain for, the reason why they're in the union for. And people like Kyrsten Sinema, come on, man. What are we doing? Joe Manchin. You know, these people come from humble beginnings when they get into Congress, then all of a sudden they millionaires. How are they millionaires when they don't make $1 million a year for getting paid by the American people with our tax dollars? How y'all millionaires now? Money, 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 money. Stop playing. This has been your Don't Listen podcast with your boy TP. Yeah, a little political rant I got for you good people. Hey, the writing's on the wall. Do you choose to see it or do you still choose to be sheep? Stop playing with me. Deuces. I'm out. Oh yeah, peace to you all on your journey.